This episode is brought to you by Palmolive. Family time isn't just the big moments, it's weeknight dinners. Sitting around the table, everyone talking all at once. So when the plates are empty and the sink is full, use Palmolive Ultra. Palmolive's most powerful formula removes up to 99.9% of grease, leaving your dishes sparkling clean. And the new convenient pump makes cleaning even easier, so you can spend less time tackling dishes and more time together. Shop now at palmolive.com.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we talk about that Star Wars lore. I'm one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host, who is a lover of technology and all that technology has to offer. He sides with the Geth in Mass Effect. He picks control. He loves technology.
I don't know about siding with the Geth, but I'm your co-host, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria. And yeah, technology is not my strong suit today. It's just my PC is not having it. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not my PC. It's specifically OBS because for some reason it's being a pain in my rear end, especially since as we're streaming this live, keeps disconnecting and reconnecting to Twitch. It's either Twitch or it's OBS. It's one of the two.
Yeah, I think you might be on because it's buffering on my side again, at least live. But
I keep seeing it dropping, so. It is what it is. It still gets it recording for the audio format, so it's all good. Most of you people who listen to this show is listening to on the audio format. So what you're hearing about me having a tangent about Twitch and OBS, it doesn't even matter to you.
Exactly. I am curious in the sense of did we do the intro?
Yeah, I did the intro.
Okay, I had a brain fog today, and I was like, did we just start?
We did.
So I thought, we did this, Dragon Age Lorecast style, where we just start and add everything else post-op. But
yeah, no, I did the intro. Intro is there. But yeah, okay. We're back today with more Satele Shan, part 2. So this is stuff getting into right before this tour storyline really starts. Where we left off last week was, the Sith invaded Coruscant, forced the Republic into a treaty, and asked for them for all their demands, because that's the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to make a lot of surprises. So, we are in the Cold War. This is before SWTOR really starts. And we do have a pretty tense treaty on our hands. So, in the days following the signing of the Treaty of Coruscant and the battle that became known as the sacking of Coruscant, Republic forces were ordered to withdraw from every battlefield across the galaxy, and Zim, who sent both Shan and Darnala to enforce the withdrawal on Tatooine. The two were aboard the Republic ship Envoy in the Kuwait sector, conversing in their suite when Darnala detected the eavesdropper outside the hall, the Imperial Protocol droid SP-99, which had been assigned to the vessel and ordered to ensure the fulfillment of the treaty's terms. Right then and there, the Sith are already at it, spying on all. The Traguda Jedi Master then departed the bridge in anger as Shan settled down in sleep. Shan was still in her room when Darnala arranged for the Envoy to attack a passing Imperial transport. As part of the plan to dismantle the treaty and restart the war, Shan was alerted to the Imperials returning fire by SP-99. In her attempt to investigate, led her to straight into a pair of Imperial commandos who tried to kill her on sight. Quickly dispatching the attackers and ignoring SP-99's protest, the Jedi raced to find Darnala, only to witness her capture by several Imperials. The Traguda ordered her former student to run and warn the Council, and Shauna raced to an escape pod with SP-99 before the Imperial could capture her as well. A Mandalorian raider vessel bound for the Geonosis slave markets eventually found the escape pod in the Barma sector, but a Rendarian-class assault shuttle, piloted by Jedi Master Orgus Din and Lieutenant Harun Tavis, located the pod's distress signal and destroyed the slavers before they could capture Shan. The Jedi Knight then told her story immediately upon being rescued, and Din decided that Zim needed to be alerted right away. Tavis laughed down Shan's argument that they could also rescue Darnala, but Din agreed that they did not need more information on the attack before they could make a judgment. And if I recall, yes, Orgus Din is a very important character to all you Jedi Knight players if you play the Jedi Knight storyline.
Orgus Din. Is he in the beginning?
He's your master.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. He plays an important role in your character development as a character in SWTOR. Specifically the Jedi Knight storyline.
Yes.
They contacted the Grand Master from their ship, but Shan was dismayed to learn that the intercepted Imperial transmission had reported that Darnala was dead. Saddened by the loss of her former master, Shan accompanied the two on their original mission to enforce the ceasefire on the nearby planet Balmora, where Din forced his former student Fortis Gal to withdraw from the battlefield. Before completing their mission on Balmora, they prepared to go to Dantooine, but Shan's request to leave the mission was turned down by Din, who was planning to remain on Balmora, while Gale and Tavis went to Dantooine with Shan. And, playing this KOTOR series, Dantooine has a very specific place with the Jedi due to KOTOR 1 and 2.
Yes. Not really anymore, I didn't think.
No, I mean, after 2, it's like they don't really go to it. Like in SWTOR, you can go to the old Jedi ruins of the Jedi Temple there, but they don't use it. Much like, KOTOR 2, where it's like dead, like no one's there.
Right, exactly.
As
there's people there. There aren't
there's
Jedi
people there, but just not Jedi. Yeah. As they were traveling through the Rabalo sector, Travis approached Shan with the possibility of starting a romantic relationship, but Shan reminded that lieutenant of her vows as a Jedi. Their conversation was interrupted by SP-99, who reported their arrival in Dantooine, and Travis informed Shan that the office still stood if she changed her mind. Meeting with Major Dale at base D-55 on Dantooine, the two were dismayed to learn that Amris, that Jedi Master Zim had been killed just as a bomb exploded in the Senate building. So, yeah, Grandmaster Zim's dead.
So sad.
With the treaty of Coruscant crumbling under the strain of recent events, Amris reinstated the order to withdraw to Dale and ended the holo transmission with the hope that Shan and Tavis would succeed in convincing the Major to heed the orders. To Shan's surprise, Tavis did not object to Dale's refusal, and the lieutenant decided to return to their ship until Shan came to her senses and realized that the treaty was not worth protecting. Despite Tavis' departure, Shan remained committed to the mission, and she stayed behind to speak with Dale. After a little while, Din arrived on Dantooine with the bounty hunter Brayden, who he had captured in Nar Shaddaa. Upon learning Shan's name, Brayden delivered the message that Darnala had tasked him with before her death. Darnala believed that the treaty was being sabotaged by Darth Barris. This confused Shan, who sensed that Barris was more committed to the treaty than Darnala had been on Alderaan, and she returned to the ship to find Tavis. To her surprise, Shan found only a heavily damaged SP-99, as Tavis had shot the droid after discovering it spying on him. Yeah. And then I believe Brayden is another character we interact with in the... Or maybe not.
Brayden? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's
Brayden's part of the bounty hunter storyline. That's right. I remember now. He is somewhat like mentor-ish kind of a person on the bounty hunter storyline. So, but which again, this is why I love this game so much. All like even the backstories are interconnected to one of another. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
The protocol droid was barely able to communicate before losing power. That Travis had gone to the ruins of the Jedi Enclave, and Din called Shan just then to report that Raiden had escaped. Din ordered her to remain there until he arrived, but Shan decided to pursue Travis herself to set off the Enclave. Following the Force, Shan entered the Crystal Cave near the Enclave to find a fierce firefight in progress. Angral, Barriss, and several Sith troopers were battling Tavisk Gal, a Wookiee bounty hunter by the name of Dalbora, and to Shan's astonishment, Darnala. Surprised to see her former teacher alive, Shan nonetheless joined the Togruta in her fight against Barriss. So, and yeah, Barriss is also another important character when it comes to the Sith warrior storyline, because he is your quote-unquote master in that too.
Yeah, I feel like no one ever dies in SWTOR, which is not true because people have died, but like even, Darth Maul, who we all love, yes, died, but that didn't stop him from being in the game.
Right, there's a thing called being a Force ghost. I'm not going to spoil the Sith storyline. So Barriss revealed that one of the treaty's purposes was to show the Jedi their own hypocrisy and hatred of the Sith, and Darnala proved his point by admitting that she had been behind both the attack on the Envoy and the Senate bombing. Barriss also tried to convince Shan to join the Sith, claiming that she belonged on their side of the war, but Shan broke away, realizing the Sith were manipulating her and the others to continue the war. Yeah, don't follow the dark side. Don't be like your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Hey, he had his reasons.
Well, he also was manipulated and, brainwashed. So there was that, too. Calling out to Travis, who had pinned an unarmed Angral to the ground and was preparing to execute him. She warned him to stop. An endangered Darnala leapt at the soldier, and when they refused to kill the Sith, she had knocked aside Gale, and the confused Jedi blocked her attack. The Jedi Master ordered Dalbora, who had under her mental control, to kill Gale, but the Wookiee instead broke free of her thrall and slew Darnala with a single blow to the head. Shan rushed to Darnala's side as Dalbora fled the cave, and Angral took advantage of this opponent's distraction to summon his lightsaber back to his hand and throw Travis across the cave with the Force. The Sith
That'll do it.
Right. The Sith prepared to continue the battle, but Shan held back her allies and informed Angral that the fight was ended. Barriss agreed that Shan had departed with his fellow Sith, but not only before warning the Jedi Knight that the Sith was in her heritage, the dark side was the destiny of all heirs of Revan. Returning to the surface, the trio explained what transpired in the caves to Din, though none of the three mentioned many details to or explain Darnala's role in this recent events. Din was suspicious but satisfied, and he accepted their story on the account of the promise the treaty would not be disrupted any further. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put. Ooh. But yeah, things get heated up pretty quick.
That'll do it. That'll do
right.
it.
But yeah, at this point, let's take a quick mid break, thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
All right.
I get so many headaches every month.
It could be chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those who have 14 or fewer headache days a month. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show where we take time to thank our patrons. Thank you so much to all of our patrons who support us. If you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories. You can also support us by leaving comments or reviews on Apple or Spotify. If you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we'll read it out on a future episode of the show. Ben, do we have any comments or reviews to read today?
We do. We have a couple on our Spotify. So back on our... This is way back on episode 9. That was 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago. Yeah. Zach B commented saying, unsure if you'll see this, but I wanted to add to the Darth Jar Jar theory. When I was in high school, my buddy and I heard about the theory. We went back and watched the prequel trilogy. There are a few scenes in either Phantom or Attack of the Clones where Palps was in the same room as Jar Jar. If you pause or slow down while Palps is speaking during the scenes, you can see Jar Jar's mouth moving in the background.
Interesting.
Yes. I mean, and technically Darth Jar Jar now exists due to Lego.
In an alternate universe.
In an alternate universe, Darth Jar Jar is a thing. And oh my gosh, I saw an interview with the voice actor's name is actor's name is Ahmad Best, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw him talking about how he brought Darth Jar Jar to life, and he's like, it was actually hard because Jar Jar is such a light character, and then I have to do the voice in an evil setting. But the best thing about that now is I have the Dark Falcon. That's my ship. Oh, it's hysterical. If anybody hasn't watched the new Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, it is hilarious and so much fun to watch. It's the what if of Star Wars in Lego format.
Right.
I mean, that's what we get as a what if series. And then on our Tenebrae episode, part 2, Captain 10 says, "Can there be clone that have the Can a clone have the Force?" I mean, yes, because we see that. Well, we see in Rise of Skywalker. Like, I mean, Snoke was a clone of Palpatine, a failed clone, but still used the Force. So in canon universe, yes. Legends, yes. There was a lot of clones that had the Force specifically.
We have the clone from the Elite Commando version.
Elite Squadron.
Elite Squadron.
Elite Squadron, yeah. Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron. Yes. You play an actual story, and you play as a clone of a Jedi. You're one of twins clones. Your character goes to the light side, your twin goes to the dark side.
Galen Merrick's clones are able to hold the Force. Then, furthermore, I believe there is a clone of Luke that is called Luke.
I think so.
L-U-U-K-E. Luke.
Luke.
So there's that. And then, yeah, there's a lot of clones in Legends that have the ability to use the Force. As far as canon goes, they introduced it back a little bit with the Rise of Skywalker, and then more with Mando and the whole idea of their Moff Gideon trying to clone and impart the clones with the Force.
Yeah.
I would be curious how it works if the host doesn't have the Force. Now, we know that with the clones, like, they are intersplicing other DNA samples into the Jango Fett DNA to make the clones, which is what causes that. It would be interesting to me because Gideon's clones do not have the Force because he doesn't have it. And so I would be curious how that works. And we haven't really gotten a set canon answer on, like, is a, like, midichlorian count genetic or is it random?
Right. Yeah, we don't really know too much when it comes to that. The only thing we really get is, like Austin said, and how I said earlier, Rise of Skywalker is probably the most forthcoming with some of that info. But that's also that's the furthest in the Star Wars timeline we have right now, where Mando's like before Force Awakens. So somewhere
Palpatine returned.
Yeah. Somewhere in there, Palpatine got the tech to start cloning himself.
Ben didn't like my joke, and I need him to
Palpatine
acknowledge
returned?
somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah. Clones.
Sith alchemy.
Sith alchemy, yeah.
Which is what
magic
Mary from Lord of the Rings says. His actor.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember that actor's name, and if Kolkashins ever listens to this episode, he will probably shame me relentlessly for not remembering that actor's name. But I don't.
That's fair. But yeah, that's the comments we have.
All right. The last thing you can do is come hang out with us live when it works for us to go live. On Tuesdays at Ben of Temeria's, twitch.tv/Ben of Temeria. Also come hang out with us on Discord, Cups Podcasting More Discord, Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord. You can find us all there. I will say I do not check the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord server as much as I am on the Cups Podcasting. So if you really need to find me, if you really need to find me specifically, go to the Cups Podcasting. Ben will respond on anything you tag him in.
Yeah. You tag me in something, I'll respond to something. But yeah, let's get back into more Satele Shan. All right, we're back. And so, not long after the advance of Dantooine, Shan embarked on a journey across the galaxy, exploring new worlds and making new allies as she followed the call of the Force, and she felt through the deep meditation. During this period, she ended the Erebon-Kashyyyk War, and she made an enemy of an individual named Thresh Alatu Azuzol. It's Azulz. Yeah. Finally, in 3651 BBY, the Force revealed a previously lost hyperspace route that led Shan far into the deep core, where she discovered the Order's long-lost homeworld of Tython, which is the starting planet for all Jedi-created characters. So the Jedi Knight and Jedi Counselors start on this planet.
And Tython plays a big role in Legends.
Yes.
It really is like the birth of the Jedi Order.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the book...
And it's in canon.
Yeah.
We go to Tython in Mando Season 2. That's where Grogu's meditating on the giant rock. That's that's on Tython.
I see. Yeah. But it... Even as far as post ROTJ Legends canon, Tython is still this central kind of place that they go. When Luke decides to have the Jedi Order leave Coruscant, they go to Tython.
Yeah. Tython is a very big part of Jedi history. I mean, and like Austin said, it was the birthplace of the Jedi. Jedi and then the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Both.
Which canon has kind of like obscured that a little because they put Tython into canon. We also have Octu, which is they mention as the Order of the Jedi, and then we have Jedha, which is also
Another place for the Jedi.
related to the Jedi.
Yeah.
And so
it's all over the place. Although, I mean, in Legends, they did travel all over the place and had different beginnings all over the galaxy. So I can see them possibly doing that again with canon.
Right. And like this is important to note, and we get this with Assassin's Creed too, in that Origins. There are a lot of what we call proto-assassin groups, which are groups that exist before the Assassin Brotherhood officially.
Right.
And there's a lot of them that exist that come together. So you could trace the origins back to Persia, you could trace them to Greece, you could trace them to a bunch of places.
Mm-hmm.
Or Egypt, if you count the start of the Hidden Ones, or, Masyaf, you could start it to there in that area for the start of the Assassins. It just depends on what you are talking about.
Right.
I think in Legends, like the actual Jedi Order, the Jedi that then transforms to the Jedi, starts on Tython.
Yes. Yep, which we went over on our Origin of the Jedi episode, like way, 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 way back, years ago. So
I wanna see the battery pack lightsabers.
And we are getting a movie for like when the Jedi Order started, so I would be okay seeing a battery pack lightsaber. Be very interesting to see.
I just imagine it like it looks like one of those like dads at the zoo who have the cell phone clip on the end of shorts.
Yep. Oh my gosh. So for her achievement, Shan was granted the rank of Jedi Master and given place on the Jedi Council, and was not long after her appointment that the Order was informed that the Jedi Temple on Coruscant would not be rebuilt. In light of the news, the Council decided the Order would move its headquarters to Tython. By 3645 BBY, the Council had appointed Shan as the Order's Grand Master, and she guided the Jedi throughout the Cold War. As they rebuilt their ranks and recovered from the fighting, sometime during the period of time, she took on a young Kefar named Shigar Khonsi as her Padawan. And I don't remember... Oh, this is comics, that's why. Not in SWTOR. Around 3643 BBY, Supreme Chancellor Dorian Jinaris approached the council with the request that Master Oteg assume the position of Fleet Admiral. After meditating on the matter, Shan decided that Oteg would play a pivotal role in the upcoming conflict and agreed to Jinaris' request. Oteg's seat on the Jedi High Council was taken by Auric Trilis, and sometime afterward, Shan and Khonsi were on Coruscant to meet the General Elin Garza with the Republic's Supreme Commander when the council deemed the Padawan unfit to take the Jedi trials. And Master Orteg is also a very well-known character in SWTOR because he is the only other Yoda species in the game. Well, he's the only Yoda species in the game. Oteg.
Right. And like each era of Star Wars, I feel like gets one until
Yes.
you get to actual Yoda.
Yes.
I mean, I guess in prequel canon we have two. In like
True,
you
and
have
well, in
Yaddle
canon we have two. We have Yoda and Yaddle,
and now Grogu.
Where in Legends pre-Phantom Menace, there was one per era.
Yeah, you have Vandar,
Mm-hmm.
who is in Old Republic, and then in like I think there is one. I can't remember if there is a Yoda species in like the Bane saga, so like post SWTOR saga. But
I can't remember if there was or wasn't.
But then obviously like Yoda comes on at least. Like Yoda's gonna be born like only 100 years after Bane destroy like that, like because that's 1,000 BBY and Yoda is like 950 when he dies.
Right. Yeah. So sensing her Padawan's disappointment and conflicted emotions, she told him to take a walk while she went to her meeting. However, Kanchi soon found himself caught up in a firefight with an armored Mandalorian named Deo Streaver. Streaver escaped despite the efforts of Kanchi and the Republic trooper Lauren Moxla. But Moxla had learned that Stryver was seeking something called the Sensia and a person named Lamar Zandrit. Kanchi immediately reported to these events to his master, who relayed them to the Supreme Commander before contacting Tython regarding her earlier meeting. And then I believe, well, we do meet Lauren Moxla in the game. As far as the others, we do not. She later met with Kanchi near the Galactic Justice System, where she gave her apprentice all the information that the Republic's Strategic Information Service had gathered on the Sensia and Zandrit. The Sensia was a ship that had that the Hutt Tassa Barshi was offering for auction, and the Zandrit was somehow involved in the ship's history. Sensing that Kanchi had set something in motion, the Grand Master decided to send her apprentice and Moxla to Nal Hutta to investigate the auction. Because that seems to go well, sending people to Nal Hutta.
Yeah, never goes bad.
Never. Kanchi's mission uncovered the existence of droids known as hexes, combat droids that the Sensia had been carrying, and Barshi's auction collapsed when the droids were released and began to wreak havoc. The Padawan and Moxla were able to escape Nal Hutta with the Republic envoy Ula V and the smuggler Jet Nebula aboard Nebula's ship, the Agra Fire. And Kanchi contacted his master to seek guidance on what to do next. Shan was troubled by two aspects of her apprentice's report. The droids were adaptable in combat, and a Sith apprentice named Edelon Axe had been presented at the Tassa Barsh's palace during the fighting.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me because the Old Republic novels are all kinds of out of order. Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely. None of them,
so
the first one is Revan, which, right. Okay, that makes sense timeline-wise. Then you have deceived,
which
and then you
takes
go
back for Fatal Alliance.
Yeah,
which is when this happens. Fatal Alliance is what we just talked about, and then you have the last one, which is called Annihilation,
Annihilation,
which has
with Theron,
and I believe that takes place like right before SWTOR.
I believe so.
Or really close.
Right. So as Kanchi was planning to use his psychometry to track the source of the hexes, Shan gathered a Republic task force and traveled to a rendezvous at the planet Honagar. Using his power, Shan's apprentice tracked the hexes to a planet named Sebadon, and located near a black hole where above the galactic disk, Shan had followed them to the Sebadon system aboard the Corellia, a cruiser among the Republic flotilla under the command of Colonel Gurin. Shan attempted to contact Zandrit's Sebadon colonists 3 times before receiving a response, a woman's voice saying that they did not recognize the Republic's authority and they wanted only to be left alone. As the conversation continued, Sebadon launched 8 missiles at the Republic fleet, and the Republic was only able to destroy 7 of them before they hit the Corellia. The Republic's dismay, the missiles are actually composed of thousands of hexes, and the destroyed projectiles quickly took control of the several Republic vessels. The section of the Corellia in which Shan was located was largely intact, and the Grand Master sealed herself within a pressurized section of the ship. She reached out to her Padawan to convey her situation, and Kanchi used one of the Agra Fire's envirosuits to reach her. So an envirosuit is literally just like a, spacesuit. We use them in, we use an envirosuit in KOTOR too, if I recall.
In both KOTORs. You have a spacesuit, an envirosuit, and then an envirosuit in KOTOR 2.
Yep. While waiting for Conchi to find her, the Grandmaster encountered 9 hexes, but she was able to influence a biological component to them to halt their aggression. So, however, they were unable to make the hexes leave, which forced her Padawan to walk carefully through the hexes to let the Grandmaster out. Shan used a force shield to keep her around her, while Conchi cut them a path out of the ship's wreckage. After Conchi rescued Shan, the Mandalorian Striver contacted the Augur of Fire with instructions to meet them on a nearby moon. Shan and Conchi met with Striver on the First Blood, his personal ship, and they were surprised to encounter the Sith apprentice from Nal Hutta there as well. Striver explained that the Hex's creator, Lima Zandra, had originally approached the Mandalorians with the droids in hope of forming an alliance to bring down the Sith Empire. Zandra's droids were intrigued. Mandalore, the Vindicated. Yeah, words. But the Mandalorians soon realized that the Hexes were, in fact, a galactic plague. Zandra lost control of the droids not long after the contact of the Mandalorians, and the droids' drive to consume and their incredible replication speed would allow them to destroy the entire galaxy within a matter of years. Yeah. Things get wild. That was the reason that Striver had called the Empire and the Republic to Sabaton. Only together they could the two galactic powers destroy the scourge of the Hexes and ensure the galaxy's safety. Though both sides initially objected to such an alliance, they eventually agreed to temporary cessation of hostilities in order to eliminate the Hexes. As part of the joint assault, Shan led a strike team to destroy the Hexes, coordinating intelligence, while another team led by Moxla took out the main factory. Despite her apprehensions, Shan accepted the demands of Darth Kratos? Sure. The Sith Lord in command of the Imperial Force, that she would take his apprentice with her while he took Koshi on his own mission. As the battle began, Shan and the rest of the Allied forces dropped onto Sabaton's surface using jet chutes, though soon began the tail Eldon axe in order to speak with the Kratos apprentice. Once the Allied troops found the entrance to the corresponding intelligence complex, the Grandmaster led the charge into the facility, destroying hundreds of Hexes and with both the Force and her lightsaber. Yet the Joint Task Force soon realized that it was unable to penetrate the complex's main structure to reach the target. So Shan had her allies withdraw so something else could do the work for them, a crippled transport with heading towards Streak for the complex. The transport breached the subterranean mining complex beneath the facility, but an explosion of what seemed to be lava consumed both Shan and Axe before they could get out of the way. To their surprise, the two discovered that it was not lava, but it was a lake of warm, reddish fluid that concealed the Imperial vessel far beneath the surface. Shan and Axe boarded the ship with a massive glass tank containing the same red fluid in one of the vessel's compartments. They soon realized that the fluid was some kind of organic material that gave the Hexes a semblance of life, and the tank contained a clone of Edelin Axe, which obviously is, a Sith, so he has the Force, as we were just talking about in our mid-break about clones. The clone explained to Shan that Edelin Axe was actually Xandrit's daughter, and a fact that the Sith apprentice had concealed, and that the fluid in which she was submerged was suppressing her Force powers. Further conversation with the clone revealed that Xandrit had infused the droids with their own intelligence, but the remnant of Xandrit within the fluid killed the clone when she tried to shut down the Hex droids. With her dying words, the clone instructed Axe on how to take control of the Hexes, and Shan and Axe returned to the surface to test whether it would work. Axe's control of the Hexes allowed her to end the battle in the matter of minutes, and Shan retreated with the rest of the Republic forces as Axe used the Hexes to kill her master by destroying them and ending the threat they posed to the galaxy. In the aftermath of the conflict, which was labeled the Independent Operation Sabaton, Shan proudly stood as her Padawan was deemed ready for the Jedi trials and returned to Tython with her student so he could become a Jedi Knight. And that's Fatal Alliance for you. And then we get to the events of SWTOR, which, if you want to know more, go play SWTOR.
Yeah, she does play a major role, but like it is more of a supporting role because you are the main character of that game.
Correct.
So like you will see her on the Jedi sides, but like she's not like a companion. I mean, kind of
Not
serves.
really.
If you're familiar with Dragon Age, she serves more as an advisor role.
Yeah.
From like Dragon Age Inquisition. And then there's more of her in like Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep. She has her roles during the base game and then post-base game with the expansions and all that. You'll see her more if you play the Jedi Knight or the Jedi Counselor roles rather than being any other of the like Trooper or Smuggler. You really won't interact with her all that much until the expansions. But if you want to get more of her story and learn more about her and talk to her, Jedi Knight, Jedi Counselor. Those are the ones you want to go for. Specifically, Jedi Knight, you'll probably interact with her more as a Jedi Knight than a Counselor.
And if you're like, I just want like the base story of the KOTOR events and like, what is this like, this follow-up? If you're like wanting to play SWTOR as a follow-up to the KOTOR games, play the Jedi Knight story. Like,
Absolutely.
It is the one I think that is probably the intended canon of the game.
Yeah,
there is one.
The Jedi Knight storyline I read somewhere a long time ago. I think it was one of the SWTOR blogs. The Jedi Knight storyline was originally the scrapped storyline that they were planning on doing for KOTOR 3 if they were able to do a KOTOR 3. That was a storyline that was going to be... Obviously, they make tweaks to it over the years for SWTOR specifically, but if you play it, they had elements from the original storyline that they wanted to do in that storyline.
Which makes sense because, like, with the Revan novel and the setup that KOTOR 2 does, it makes sense that you would start in this, like, Sith Empire world and then, you know, you go in and like, especially, like, the meeting of Lord Scourge and that all of that coming in there just really plays well with the rest of the Knights of the Old Republic media.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I love SWTOR. I need to get back and playing SWTOR.
I tried to get back into it.
There's too much to play.
I tried to get back into it the other day, and I was doing okay. And then I got to, because I'm in the middle of the Knights of the Fallen Empire expansion.
Oh, okay.
And I get to the point after you, I have now met Satele Shan, like actually seen her in person rather than just like the scenes. So there's that whole vision, and then you have to go to the cave and you have to fight Valen, or a vision of Valen that I think.
Right.
And it was too hard, and I said, fuck this.
That's fair. That's fair. Some of the fights in the expansions are like ridiculous. Like, what in the hell?
Well, and they don't give you any companions, and you're fighting them
right
by yourself.
Yeah, if you had a companion, it's a little different because I always have my companion set for heal, so they constantly heal me.
I'm thinking about, in that thing, you get the option to like tame beasts, and I think I just need to bring a tamed beast in there to be a damage.
Yeah, it's been
sponge.
so long since I played that. I'm way past that. I'm past the. I'm in Legacy of the Sith stuff, so I'm doing stuff with Malgus.
Yeah, see, I want to do that. I'm thinking about just like making a character and jumping right into.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there are level skips that skip you way to up to all the current stuff. So if you're a subscriber, I know you get at least subscribe once, you get like a level boost creation.
I think I have a stored commander token that I could do.
Okay. But cool. Yeah, that's all I have for Satele Shan. Next week is our patron chat. So patrons, let us know what you want to talk about.
Yeah, let us know. All right. Well, we'll see you all next time on the Holocron Histories podcast. Thanks for listening.
And may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even at the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.